Hello. Oh, hey there. How is it going? How is it going? How is it going? I just felt like talking for a few minutes today because I think tomorrow's going to be really busy. So I just want to talk today. Hello, hello, hello. So it won't be long because these kind of stories I try not to let get to me. I just want to talk to it because this is not a good time to uh, get caught up in stories and have our frequency lowered. But I want to talk about this though. Adriana Smith. Adriana Smith is a lady. I think she was a nurse who went into Ivory Hospital in Georgia, complaining of bad headaches, and it turned out she was 8 weeks pregnant. And let me finish reading the story. Uh, oh, they have another. Well, shoot. I'm sorry. I just got a text. What the hell? Okay, sorry about that. I just got a text. I have a hard time making these doggone appointments. Adriana Smith. Just read about what's going on with her. Top news. I can't believe her family has to sue them. Okay, following a medical emergency in February, Smith was declared brain dead. According to the family, the hospital stated that the ending of Smith's life support would violate Georgia's abortion law. So they could not take Adriana Smith off life support. What if Adriana Smith had a do not resuscitate order? You know, if you have a do not resuscitate order, that means that you cannot take extra measures. If a person has a do not resuscitate order, a DNR in place, that means that the hospital or whatever cannot take extra measures to keep them alive. So I wonder if a person has a DNR in place, a do not resuscitate, because of the and if they're pregnant, like if it's a woman who has a do not resuscitate in place, if she's pregnant, then does that do not resuscitate, does that go out the window? You know, I'm pretty sure Adriana Smith didn't have that in place, but I was just wondering. So the pregnancy, I'm reading it. The pregnancy of Adriana Smith, a woman from Georgia, United States, is the focus of an ongoing medical ethics controversy. Following a medical emergency in February 2025, Smith was declared brain dead. According to the family, the hospital stated that the ending of Smith's life support would violate Georgia's abortion law because fetal cardiac activity had been detected at 9 weeks gestation. Smith was subsequently kept on life support to allow sufficient fetal development for delivery without giving the family a choice in the matter. Now, I hope our family don't have to pay the bills, because if you don't give somebody a choice, they shouldn't have to deal with the bills. Now, the baby was just now born. And I want to talk about this because I know a lot of people hopping on Trump, and I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden. I'm not a Kamala, and I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump. I am not a supporter of any politician because I don't think the politicians, nor do I believe the government, is for human beings. So I just want to say that right now. But I want to say this. I know a lot of people getting on Trump about what's going on with Adriana Smith. But my thing is, Biden got in the White House. Biden got in the White House and had 4 years to do something about this, to go back and was it to undo the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Biden had 4 years to do that. And Kamala actually had 4 years too, because actually Kamala was giving Biden a lot of paperwork just for him to sign off on. So she pretty much ran the White House, even though President Biden was supposed to be the president. Kamala was basically kind of running. Kamala and Obama was basically running the White House. So if Kamala really wanted the Roe versus Wade back, to end the overturning of Roe versus Wade, she could have been done that. She didn't do it. And the state had a choice to ban abortion. Each state had a choice. So now it's on Georgia. It's really not on Trump. It's on Georgia, but it did start with Trump's administration. The fact that these states had this type of the fact that these states had that type of choice is because of him being in office. But when Biden got in, he had 4 years to undo it, what was done by Trump. Even Kamala had 4 years. Now, a lot of women wanted Kamala Harris in because of the abortion laws, because they want to choose what they want to do with their own bodies, right? But I don't feel like, I just get the feeling Kamala would not have rushed. Had she got in office, she would not have been in a rush to deal with the Roe versus Wade. She would not, because she could have been done that. She could have had that done a long time ago. I felt like she used that as an argument to become president. But I don't really believe she had any intentions on dealing with the Roe versus Wade. I don't think she had any intentions. But getting back to that, because I know people are going to talk about, well, it's Trump's fault. Well, the state chose to ban abortion because it was each state's choice. And then on top of that, you had Joe Biden that was in office for 4 years, who could have been done something about that. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so what I want to know now, this child has been born already. So let me read about this child being born. I'm going to be just a little bit. I'm not going to take too long. I just feel like talking about this really quickly because I haven't been knowing what I was going to talk about. That's why I don't want a channel where I have to keep thinking things to bring up and talk about. If I don't have nothing to talk about, I don't want to have to just look for something. Okay, Adriana. So her child is not born, and the funeral arrangements are coming soon. The family has made funeral arrangements. Okay, Christian Post. Christians. I'm not against Christians, but they should not be for things like this. They shouldn't be for this type of stuff right here. This right here is not of God. Whatever God they serve, this is not of God. This right here that happened is not of God. And see, this type of stuff right here, just, I hope they see something wrong with this. I'm not a Christian. I hope they can see something that's wrong with this. The family of Adriana Smith, a pregnant woman who abortion advocates claimed was kept on life support due to Georgia's abortion law, asked people to pray for Smith's son, who was born prematurely and delivered by cesarean section. Of course, the baby was delivered by cesarean section because she couldn't push him out. But anyway, according to Smith's mother, this is another thing. I've been hearing about these hospitals. They like to do these cesarean sections. See, these people are doing a lot of rituals. I'm tired of being under their doggone rituals. This is a lot of doggone rituals. And it comes, even Gandhi said this, and I'm not into Gandhi. He said, you just should not be for something that's evil. You shouldn't just go along with evil stuff. It's really time to go against this system, but not in a way to march in the streets. Not in a way to protest and march in the street, because the only thing they're gonna do is lock you up, put you in jail. So not in a way to but I'm talking about the revolution will not be televised. I'm talking about inwardly rebel against this system inwardly. According to Smith's mother, April Newkirk, baby Chance, the baby's name is Chance, baby Chance is in the neonatal intensive care unit, and he weighs 1 pound 13 ounces. He weighs 1 pound 13 ounces. Do you think that baby was healthy up in that womb? She was brain dead. Do you think that baby was healthy up in that womb? Local news station WXIA-TV reported earlier this week. The grandmother said that Chance, who was born prematurely around 4:41 a.m. on Friday, is expected to be okay. He's just fighting. We just want prayers for him. Just keep praying for him. He's here now, Newkirk said. Newkirk expressed grief over the loss of her daughter, a registered nurse who celebrated her 31st birthday over the weekend and was scheduled to have her life support removed Tuesday. The grandmother told the outlet that she is trying to keep it together for the sake of her grandchildren. Well, you got to keep it together. You know what? If you hurt, you hurt. I'm not interested. I understand what she's saying, but I'm not interested in keeping it together. I'm not interested in keeping it together. Esther Roll, I don't know if some people remember Good Times. Esther Roll, when James, her husband, died in some accident at work. She kept trying to keep it together for so long, probably for her children, trying to keep it together. And all of a sudden, she was just washing the dishes, and she threw her dishes to the ground, broke her dishes, and said, "Damn, damn, damn! You couldn't hold that. You couldn't hold it in anymore. I'm not interested in trying to keep it together for somebody else. I'm not interested." You know. In addition to Chance, Newkirk also has a 7-year-old grandson, and he said the family would have a discussion with the child to help him understand that he now has a little brother. During the time that Smith has been on life support, the 7-year-old thought that his mother was only sleeping, according to Newkirk. I don't understand how people don't see this as a jacked up system. It's kind of hard. Smith's mom said, "It's hard to process. I'm her mother," she added. "I couldn't be burying my daughter. My daughter should be burying me." It's a lot of parents that's burying their children nowadays. Especially in the brown neighborhood, a lot of parents bury their children. I mean, now in other neighborhoods, yeah, maybe, some children get to live long enough. But in the brown neighborhood, for the most part, a lot of times the parents are burying their children. Okay. Smith has been on life support since February following a medical emergency that resulted in doctors declaring the young woman brain dead. In February, Smith sought treatment for severe headaches from Northside Hospital, which provided her with medication before releasing her. The next day, Smith's boyfriend found her gasping for air, and she was rushed to Emory Hospital. Emory Hospital. The hospital determined that Smith had blood clots in her brain and declared brain dead. According to Smith's family, the doctors informed them that they were required to keep her on life support due to Georgia's abortion law, House Bill 481, also known as the Life Act. The law prohibits most abortions once an unborn child heartbeat becomes detectable, which is usually around 6 weeks of gestation. Newkirk previously told WXIA-TV that she believed it was the family's choice to decide whether they wanted to terminate Smith's pregnancy, which they did not do so. "I think all women should have a choice about their body, and I think I want people to know that," she said. This lady, Adriana Smith, is used as a sacrifice, probably for the upcoming 2028 elections. Adriana Smith is used as a sacrifice because when the 2028 elections, or if something happened to Donald Trump before then, I don't know, But for the 2028 elections, this case right here is going to come up as a talking point for the Democrats to be in office. This young lady was a sacrifice for politicians. She was a sacrifice for politicians. Okay. See, when it's a medical emergency like this, that's how I know this is some kind of a ritual. See, when it's something like this where somebody is brain dead and she cannot physically give birth to the child, this is an ethics concern right here. This is not somebody who just had sex and they don't want to carry the child, so they want to. This should be a different kind of case right here. This is not your average case. But this right here is going to be used as a debating point on 2028. This lady was a sacrifice for the Democrats. When they come back in office, I guarantee they're going to be talking about this. But what I want to know is who's going to help this family take care of this baby. This baby is going to have a lot of issues. This baby is going to have a lot of health issues coming up. And who is going to take care of the bills? Who's going to cover the bills? I hope her family don't have to cover the hospital bills, because it wasn't their decision to keep Adriana on life support. It wasn't their decision. So I hope they don't have to cover the medical bills. So I hope they get a lawyer. But I guarantee you, whatever Democrat that's going to run for office, whether it's Newsom or whether it's going to be Kamala Harris in 2028, this is going to be their talking point right here. But anyway, I just felt like talking about that really quickly. I got to go take care of some things, and I will talk later. All right.